Hi, my inspiration for you today comes from Arthur Ashe, who was a world-renowned tennis player. And Arthur Ashe once said this. He said, "Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can." And that's kind of how I started on my journey to writing. I started where I was, and that is, I started with my writing my story. And after I wrote my story, there was so many things that I learned that I was able to then begin to help other people and also to write other books. So today I want to welcome you to Clayton Communications and Publishing, our Facebook online newsletter where we turn your stories into books. And I am Coach Blondie, your host. Today I want to talk about why you should write your story as your first book. And writing your story as writing my story as my first book was an experience. As I look back, it was rewarding and it really was a writing education that a new writer could ever have. It was probably one of the best writing educations or education in writing that I could have had at the time. So let's look at why you should write your story as your first book. First of all, number one is that you know your story better than any other subject. And what I learned from writing that story is I learned how to format. I learned about chapters and table of contents and sizing and type of paper and cover design and how to proofread and edit and rewrite and how to handle the roadblocks or the writer's blocks or the emotional moments that were blocks to you, how to kickstart my marketing plan as a new writer, how traditional publishers work and where to find them and what they were looking for versus print on demand. Number two, I found it easier to create subtitles and to divide my book into sections because why? I knew my story. Number three, it's your story. And people want to know your story and your experiences. And number four, writing your story can be healing. And those who read your story have the opportunity to relate to you and possibly to have something in common with you, that it would be a healing experience for them. Number five, people are drawn to your passion. And when you tell your story, whether it's in writing or in person, you're passionate about it. And so how you write your story carries credibility. Number six, telling your story and writing builds your speaking confidence so that when you have to share from a platform, a speaking platform, you have no problem doing that because it's your story. Once you go through that experience, number seven, it prepares you to write other books or to help others to write their books. It gives you an insight into how to structure or help other authors to lay out their outline and to write their story. And number eight, there's no research involved, no infringement issues that you have to be concerned with or permissions that you have to get. Number nine, I learned how to structure my subtitles to become workshop topics or titles or talk topics. And so I learned how to look ahead rather than just in the here and now. Number 10, once you have your story, the story finished and printed, it's then easier to turn it into a fiction book if you choose to do that. And that's all I have for you today. If anything that I've shared was of value to you, please share it with your friends and relatives. Or if you have been looking or you have a book publishing questions, please feel free to send me an email at coach23blondie at gmail.com. And until next time, this is Coach Blondie signing off. Keep the faith.